Oh, porn and lo mein. Fritzy, my friend, you are a genius. Oh, no.
Hey, Bobby, why don't you go grab Brock? We're going to tape early.
Got it.
Thanks.
Oh, my.
Hey, Brock.
Can I get 5 minutes?
No, Brock. The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut, fresh off of watching the Odell Beckham Jr. show last night. Now, Paulie, this Giants receiver is dominating the headlines with these fantastical catches. Who is the first athlete to garner this kind of attention in any sport?
Well, now, what do you mean, this kind of attention? Where, like, YouTube sensation? What do you mean, Brock?
Let's say the spectacular highlights of these great catches, not the hair.
When I was, well, catches, I don't know who would do that, but when I was a kid, highlights weren't a big deal. Like, you didn't have highlights till SportsCenter came along. And when SportsCenter came along, I would say Michael Jordan had to be the first guy. Guys like Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan.
I remember seeing Dr. J on TV and being like, whoa.
Yeah. Dr.
That
J,
dude's awesome.
He did things where you only saw him a couple times because of the sports back then. But we're from a generation that didn't have on-demand stuff. You either saw it that night or maybe on your nightly news.
You know what? You did see Howard Cosell doing 3 minutes of NFL highlights of Monday Night Football, and like to say that was big is an understatement. That was huge.
Well, yeah, because like I lived in Chicago and I loved Earl Campbell.
Yeah, me too.
But you couldn't see Earl Campbell play every week.
Yeah.
You saw him play maybe twice a year on Monday Night Football. But when Howard Cosell would do the highlights, the 3 minutes of highlights or whatever it was at halftime, you'd be like, "There's Earl Campbell."
When did the Sports Machine start?
That was
awesome.
That show came out like this.
Being like,
early 80s?
This is rad.
We had local news too, which used to be a big deal. You used to watch your local sports
every night,
guy.
Yeah.
After the weather.
Yeah. Champ kind.
Dan Henry said it would be like this. McLovin, which player is more entertaining to watch, Steph Curry or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Wow. See, I am very careful because I don't want to be perceived as anti-Steph Curry, but I'll take the dunk over three-pointer any day, and I'll take the Odell Beckham one-handed catch any day of the week.
Steph gets the ball like so much more.
Yeah, you actually get to watch him.
My favorite player of all time is Vince Carter, so, it's like that tells you all you need to know about my...
Yeah.
I mean, to see a guy jump over two people and dunk, to me, is still the most spectacular thing. Steph's incredible, and Beckham, Beckham is much more similar to Vince Carter. Like, those one-hand catches are like a super slam dunk to me.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Another topic that is made the debate in the Man Cave was Sportsman of the Year. Should it be American Pharoah over Serena Williams? Seton, what's the big problem with Serena getting that title?
I don't know. I have no idea why people have such a problem with it. I mean, she's an amazing athlete. She had an amazing year. Seems to make sense to me, but for some reason people don't like her, and she's a little kind of polarizing. But I really can't figure out why it would be like, this is total garbage, It seems pretty deserving. I mean, she's pretty underappreciated as a great American athlete, and it's actually kind of a shame.
You think it's because she's like less than a media darling, especially because she...
What does that mean?
That sometimes she seems a little standoffish, and not that anyone's in a good mood after they lose.
How many interviews has Tom Brady done with us about past 10 years?
If we wrote him a big enough check,
What I'm saying is, like, she's bad with the media? How so?
When I've seen her there at times, but I like Serena. I personally have no issue with Serena getting Sportsperson of the Year. But I could see sometimes she seems like she has a little bit of an attitude, or gets a little testy or impatient if someone wants to ask her a question where she doesn't want to talk about something about her performance or what.
Like Greg Popovich or like Bill Belichick.
There's plenty of people that.
Or other people that are celebrated for their.
Like that.
We celebrate Greg Popovich doing it, have fun with it.
Yeah, but the media seem to embrace the athletes and coaches that they can kind of put their arm around and have fun with and be silly with.
Which is
She's
weird
not
then how it would
interested in that.
translate over to fans who are like, that's like what most of Twitter is all upset about. You know, it's all fans being like, this is garbage, it should have been the horse.
The horse is not media friendly.
Never does interviews.
Yeah, that horse, as far as I know, has been completely unavailable.
All of this is a function of modern sports because I looked at a list of other sportsmen, like Bonnie Blair, the ice skater, won '94 with a Norwegian ice skater.
Wait, they were a group of Olympic athletes.
There was two. It was Bonnie Blair and a Yeah, I just looked at the list, and it was like
She was a big deal.
She was a big deal, but it was she shared it with a Norwegian speed skater who I never even heard of before. My point is, like, nowadays we argue over sportsmen. Like last year's Madison Bumgarner, we didn't argue over, and that wasn't a poll. It's just
Bonnie Blair,
really yawner.
if Bonnie Blair were going today when there's sports media and Twitter and sports radio, she had no chance of that award. They would have torn that one to shreds. She had one great week in the course of a year, and she was a great athlete. I think she's from Champaign, Illinois, but Olympics can steal you, the sportsman.
Well, my point is, though, that we argue because of social media, like, things become, there's much more national debate, which is great. Yeah.
The ESPYs turned into this huge debate over who should be getting what award, and why doesn't it go to someone from the military? Why doesn't it go to this cancer survivor? Why doesn't it go to this? I think that, and really, none of these awards really mean anything. No. I mean, it's a great honor to win Sportsman of the Year, but it's not going to change the world.
To me, I guess it's because when I grew up, Sportsman meant a lot. I can remember, because there was no way, they never released it. You found out when you opened your mailbox. I remember opening my mailbox and seeing, I can't remember who it was, like Terry Bradshaw.
Wayne Gretzky or something.
Wayne Gretzky, yeah. I remember the Wayne Gretzky shot. He's laying on the ice, strewn across. I remember SI covers. And they've had 50 years of this. So I remember there was no way to find it out early. You never saw the interview. You just opened it like, wow.
Well, you people are passionate about Sportsman of the Year, and the guy who was overseeing it was SI's managing editor, Chris Stone. And today he talked about how close it was with the finalists and how Serena separated herself from the pack.
It's almost you have to go to a tiebreaker system. So at that point, you're assessing other factors like her career of excellence. I mean, she's been doing this for 16 years now, and truthfully, she was a very strong candidate in past years. And the third differentiating factor here is her willingness to stretch herself in other areas into thorny issues such as race and gender. And it's not mandatory for a candidate, but it can be an essential, decisive factor. And this year, I would argue it was just that.
One thing, I'm not going to get into what he said. It's more about how he sounded. One thing about working in radio, your voice is everything. Like people, 99% of our listeners, or actually 100% of our listeners, have no idea who Chris Stone is or what he looks like. And he's a very successful publisher, editor. But he sounds like a New York Magazine editor would sound. Like if I was going to cast a guy to come on the radio and sound like, he sounded very controlled in the way he speaks and very educated, like a professor giving an oral history report. He sounded smart. He sounded well-spoken, well-read.
Kind of towards the sort of George Plimpton kind of.
Plimpton-esque, where he speaks clearly. He has fantastic diction. I can see him on the phone like this. Yes, Dan. Like he had very good on-air presence, which I liked.
Well, you guys talked about whose career you would rather have in athletics. Well, let's put a TV personality spin on it, shall we? Fritzy, let's go to the audience big dogs. Whose career would you rather have, Dan Patrick or Rich Eisens?
Wow.
What do you think he's going to say?
Well, not just for my own personal bias.
What the hell do you think he's going to say? Brock,
come on, Brock.
Brock, what the hell do you think he's going to say to that question?
Feels unnecessary.
I'm hoping you didn't write that one.
I'm asking
with, not that Rich.
Go ahead, Fritzy.
Not that Rich hasn't covered many events. But
Fritz, don't give one of your long answers.
With everything Stan's accomplished on SportsCenter and in sports radio and giving out Super Bowl trophies and a movie career on top of that.
So you're going with Dan?
And I'm gonna give Dan the edge over Rich there.
Just stay with it.
Oh my goodness, you are so political. All right, coming up, saying goodbye is so hard to do. We'll say goodbye to that.
Hey, Brock.
Yes.
Brock, what if it was Bob Costas or Dan Patrick? Who would you take?
I would take Bob Costas because he worked with someone. I'm not Irv Cross maybe. That was great. All right, we need to say goodbye to this. We're going to take a break. If I ride off in the sunset, it's going to be in a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. No, I'm taking Dan's career. Screw it. I take that back, Bob Costas. Sorry, the conjunctivitis. Dan's a warrior, and he would drive a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, which I believe he does. Guts, glory, Ram. Yay, Dan Patrick. Oh, we are back here in the box score. All good things must come to an end, some too soon, some not soon enough. It is with a heavy heart that I say that the box score will be riding off into the sunset someday soon, very soon. But we can't put a period on this without finding out what would take the Danettes away from the DP show. Let's find out in our very final edition of...
Know Your Row!
Let's start with the front row. Seton, what job offer would lure Paulie away from the DP show?
Man. What job offer would lure Paulie away from the DP show? Well, it would have to be his own show, I
Howard
guess.
Stern?
I don't think Howard Stern. I mean, I guess he's not gonna go produce another radio show. I don't believe that at all. That's kind of, I'm just gonna say his own show, I guess.
All right, Paulie's own show, whatever that may be.
A long-term deal hosting my own travel, food, beer show. Yeah, I think Seton absolutely nailed it. I don't think I would ever be a radio producer again after if Dan left or Dan retired. It just seems like I feel like I've done it with one of the best, if not the best of all time. And working with these guys, I wouldn't want to work with a new group. These guys are very good on air, very good off air, and I would not want to start at square one with a new guy and a new crew. And I would rather do almost anything else. And but as far as like, so I'm being serious.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I get it. I'm in the exact same place as you.
I'm not an ADD guy, but I don't like doing something I've already done. You see me, I've got like 9 cars in 12 years, and it's just because I try something new. I don't care what I do after this. You know, it probably won't be as successful. It's gonna be very tough, but who knows? But as far as my own show, that was just like the only thing I could think of. It'd be fun to do a travel show with food and beer and foliage and all that crap.
All right, to the back row, McLovin, is there a job out there that would lure Fritzy away?
Wow. I would say something going back to the mothership to be reunited with Ira Fritz, his brother, who's still at the mothership. So I would say some sort of managerial position back at the mothership.
Okay, going back to ESPN.
The job offer that would pull me away would probably be some type of executive position with the Broncos, only because I can be part of the day-to-day operations, even though I don't know enough and I'm not qualified for that particular job. But if I can just kind of follow the Broncos for a living and just the Broncos and have one of those nice offices, like looking out over the glass and be able to look out over the stadium with the big white horse atop the stadium, some type of front office position with the Broncos would be very, very cool. Yeah, that's, I've always imagined that, just with my love of the Broncos, and I don't know exactly what I would do. I'm certainly not a GM type or something like that. Or being able to know personnel or things like that. They're not going to let me pick who should the secondary.
What do you think your role would be? What would be ideal?
I don't know if it would be something broadcasting or media
cheerleaders.
Media relations would be great.
Something like that.
Do you remember the Seinfeld when George is like giving like baseball advice to like Danny Tartable? Yeah, like that'd be you. Von Miller. Okay, when you rush the quarterback, you might want to get to him.
Have you ever applied for the job with the Broncos or looked on their website?
I never have actually. Your mind wanders and you're like, imagine one day if you just, you had a nice big office with through the glass and you could see the stadium right down below.
Why don't you apply for just a position in the media relations department?
I don't know. I kind of right now, I'm close to family on the East Coast, and unless there was some kind of big wowing kind of offer, I'm not looking.
Todd would not move to Denver in a million years.
I think he would.
No, the altitude would get
Todd?
to him, and there are no formal Zubaz suits.
Get a nice cabin in the woods.
All right, one more for the front row. Paulie, what job is luring Seton away from DP?
Man, this is really tough. I would say it would be more of a location than the job itself, but I haven't given it much thought. I think Seton will move out to somewhere like Los Angeles for a good management role, whether it be TV or music. But I think it would have to be a really big role, really big title, a lot of responsibility, and I think it had to be a total change in the location of the country.
All right, Seton would come out to LA to be a bigwig.
Other than throwing like just a boatload of cash at me, which would include 7 digits at least, it would probably be something like going into business for myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what the hell I'm gonna do. But I'm like, man, it'd be cool. Like, let's just move to Italy and make furniture for a living. Or let's move to LA and be like some type of management guy. I don't know. I have no idea.
Managing an Aldo store. Last one for the back row.
Right?
Fritzy,
Yeah.
which job offer would lure McLovin away?
Initially, I don't know why it popped in my mind some type of big-time writing position, but he's kind of been there and done that with Sports Illustrated and
big time.
and all that. So I'm gonna say some kind of, exciting acting job where he can wear nice hipster clothes and be in TV and/or movies, and ideally in front of the scenes as opposed to behind the scenes. Although I think he'd have a good eye for writing, producing.
McLovin, I hope someday you get a big-time writing job. That'd be great.
Yes.
No.
Would
Well, actually, I'm
McLovin
closer
be
to
a
a big-time
big-time
acting job.
actor?
You work for Sports Illustrated. You're a writer.
Basically, it goes back to my true love in life, being a paralegal. One of the big New York City firms came to me and said, listen, we got a big case, we need your help with box storage, filing. I have to be honest, I'd be tempted. Dude, I'm telling you, the best job I ever had, no offense, was paralegal, because you went to work, you did your thing, and at like 9 o'clock, everybody went out and partied, and you didn't think about work the next day. Do you guys have that job where you miss, where it was just a young person's job, and you didn't care about? That's the kind of job I want.
That's called my 20s.
Yeah, I want a job like that. Like, you know when Kevin...
As soon as you walk out the door, you don't have to think about what's
Kevin
the next
Spacey
morning.
in American Beauty goes to work at McDonald's for that same reason. Like, that's what I want, a job where I don't have to bring it home, like this job, where I'm crunching at night thinking about box score.
All right. Congratulations to the front row, your big winner today. All right, stick around. We are talking more winners after this. And there's a gentleman in the back row that wants to go back to his 20s. Maybe he won paralegal this time. I don't know. Welcome back to Box Score. It is the home stretch in the DanDuel League, and the boss has been limping his way all the way to the finish line. This week is no different. He finished in fourth with just a 109-point performance. A bit anemic. No one on his team put up more than 20 points. McLovin, you pitch stories, you pitch poll questions. Why not pitch players to the boss?
Oh,
that's wow.
Competition.
Yeah, competition.
Also, he would take it the wrong
Dude,
way.
he's been talking so much trash the last couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah, let him do his own.
He wouldn't take that the
He's
right
on his
way.
own.
If I walked up to Dan and said, "Hey, you might want to look at Odell Beckham Jr. this week," he'd
He
be
wouldn't
like,
even trust
"Shut
you.
up."
He'd probably think you're purposely throwing names of guys that you're not going to take.
You go, oh, really? I guess I should look at Tom Brady then, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you should.
Let's
Good
look
matchup
at
this week.
how the rest of you guys did this week. Let's start in last place with Mr. Paul Paps. You put up 83 points, and you had the missus help you out. Is she done helping you out on FanDuel activities?
I feel great that I could blame her for all this, even though I approved every single.
I thought it was a good team. I thought you had a really good team. I don't know what happened.
I was actually curious to see how, if it played out, if you finished in first, if all of a sudden the misses input was going to be a little more downplayed. And,
Oh, sure. Of course, I'm going to take credit and shift credit. What, you just made me? So when I picked my team, and I looked at my team, I'm like, you know what? This team is spunky. They seem like they got a lot of, but I don't think they're going to do that well on the field. And I tuned on. I don't look at my lineup before the games, and the only guy I remembered on Sunday that I had on my team was Manziel. And I turned on the Browns game, and he throws I think 2 touchdowns. And he almost had a third. I was like, if Manziel's getting me good points, and the rest of these yokels, and I think I knew I had Gurley, and Gurley was ripping it up.
Yeah.
So
how did you not do well?
I don't know, but I went in on Monday morning and I clicked on my FanDuel team, and it was just atrocious. And because I didn't know the rest of my players, I was like, what do you got to do?
Oh, boy.
All right, on to the man who came in third this week, right in the middle of the pack, and it's named for you. It's the Todd Fritz Middle of the Pack Award. And you not only became in the middle of the man cave entrance, you also came in mathematically 499th out of 1,000 people out of the entire league. So, I mean,
That's
that was
crazy.
stupendous work.
You made it.
I know.
This is the
I should be
pinnacle.
throwing a party. That I couldn't believe. It was one thing that I get another week third among the 5 of us, but I was almost exactly 500.
Your nickname should be the Equator. Your nickname's going to be the Equator.
It was insane. It shocked me to have that many weeks in a row of third place. But then when I saw that I was 1 away from being 500th out of 1,000, that's
so
crazy,
funny.
Middle. That was just nuts.
Good for you.
Fantastic job. All right, that leaves us with the top 2 performers in the man cave. And coming in second place, Mr. Patrick Seaton O'Connor. Congratulations. Oh, geez. Had solid production across the board, but Jameis Winston, that selection cost you a little bit. He only gave you 14 points. Was he one of the biggest disappointments in Week 14?
Yeah, for me, for sure, especially since I could have gone with Cam Newton. Well, theoretically, I don't know how the money would have worked out. But he's been pretty much my steady quarterback all season, and he's done well, and he would have gotten me at least another 10 points there. Travis Kelce really crapped the bed for me, though. He didn't give me anything. Tight ends are the worst in this game.
Yes.
They all suck. But I finished in the money. At one point, I was up to like $40 or $50 I was winning. But then ended up with the 10, so that's cool.
10 spot, but it's no Jackson. That's exactly what McLovin brought down. He got first place in the man cave today. You've been bridesmaid for quite a while, but what got you over the hump and all the way up in that $20 range, sir?
I have just been picking Cam Newton every week, and you start there. Honestly, you know what won me this week? Kicker defense. Yes! Is there anything more rewarding?
You know what? My defense didn't do anything.
A kicker defense combo put me over that. Because Thomas Rawls gets hurt early on Sunday. I'm like, it's over. I just stopped paying attention because I'm like, Rawls is out, so I'm done. And then all of a sudden, Chris Boswell, we didn't even know his first name last week on the show.
He got like 30 points.
He's just kicking up a storm.
I got one from Sebastian Janikowski. One. And I saw you had almost 30 from your kicker. That's insane.
You went and looked at my team?
I did take a kind of a peek there. I was curious because I saw that you won. And I'm like, I wanted to compare what to.
Fritzy, with this type of competitive nature, I'm surprised you're not in second every week.
Yeah, I came very close to second. I was like only like a point and a half behind you before Monday, and then all of a sudden you like ended up beating me by like 8 or 10 or something.
Yeah,
but at one point there was like a point and a half difference after the Sunday.
Someday.
499 out of 1,000. Congratulations to McLovin, and you can watch these guys draft their teams every Thursday right here on the FanDuel Draft Show. All right, coming up, we're going to take a look at some of our favorite DP moments on the box score. But first, we must take a break and remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. The box score presents great moments in DP show history.
But if I do play, it's going to be magic.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. We are closing up shop here on the box score. Next week for good. Sad day. Geez. McLovin, your glass is getting broke on the DP show. Is that one of the all-time box score moments that they show?
Well, it didn't happen on the box
Is
score.
that a box score moment? Are you trying to
know. What's that all about there?
The two most played box score moments are that and the magic ball.
Yeah, the yellow ball hit.
The yellow ball, which I love the Jeff the Ghost box score addition to it. I didn't know what happened. Yeah, but I would say those are the two most prolific box score moments. I could say, even though they involve me, I don't think there's any ego involved here. Those are definitely the two most played.
It's too bad we couldn't show one or two of those again.
I think they just showed one, Paulie.
I would love to see one of those again.
I think they just showed it.
No, I missed it.
We'll see. We can queue up replay. I don't know. How about this? We'll go back in a second here. How about this, Seton? What is number 3 all time?
Number 3 all-time moment, Cripers.
That gets replayed on the box score?
I have a couple. Seton getting knocked out by Jay Glazer gets played. Todd, we don't have it, but Todd getting stuck in the sausage.
Todd on the, no, not.
Oh, Todd
on the ball gets played a lot. That's pretty funny. What else? Yeah, there's a lot of nut shots that tend to be in the rotation.
For some reason,
as they should be.
Kyle Dake pinning Paulie gets a lot of play.
Another moment of like that was like breaking your glasses-esque. You just had one recently where we were like, oh my god, this is
real.
Oh, Reelks.
Oh, is that one?
But that wasn't physical as much.
I thought it was another.
I mean, it's gonna be breaking the glasses and the yellow ball bounce.
You couldn't ask a worse person for something like this. I don't remember who we had on the show today, let alone.
There it is. The big old flinch ball across the room, right into the huevos. Dan out of the way, but up into the wedding tackle. Well done, sir.
It's the best.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
There's nothing better than nut shots. I think we can end it on that. Who's on tomorrow, Fritzy?
We'll catch up with Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk of the NFL Network, and the rest to be determined.
On the Wednesday Dave Hedger Show.
All right.
Live from the Milford Man Cave here.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for watching the box score. Catch a couple more shows as we ride off into the sunset. The podcast is always available on iTunes or podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!